Hi, this is Quinlan. Today I'm gonna go looking for a secret place of worship among an ancient group of hidden Christians to a cave deep in the mountains of Akita. This is Quinlan, and today I'm on a different kind of adventure than usual. I am here deep in Akita on the edge of a mountain range, searching for a lost bit of Japanese history, that of the hidden Christians. I heard that there's a cave around here that was used to pray by these Christians, and so here I am at the ruins of a hot springs facility, it appears. It says here that it is Hananoyu Hot Springs, clearly not functioning anymore. There's just the hint of a trail here. I can't tell if I'm imagining this is a trail, if there is a trail. God, this doesn't seem to be the right way. To be honest, there is a Google pin for this Christian cave, but there's no indication of where you might go to access it. I just picked the closest road, stopped my car, and I'm sort of walking around the mountain looking for some kind of trail or hint of something that might lead to it, and I'm having no luck. Now I'm just walking up this logging trail, I presume this is, but it's really just muddy. It's not a great little road I'm walking on right now. It's pretty gross, actually. It smells like cow manure and mud mixed together. I'm thinking now this is another false start. I don't see any sign that this is a existing path. It looks like just the forestry people carved this out of the forest. So how the hell do I get there? How do I find this mysterious cave? This trail seems to be ending here and just becoming a mass of rocks. I guess I'll head back to the road and see if I can't find somebody. I asked a construction worker and he drove me back to my car because I was a little bit of a distance from my car, and he is leading me there now. He says in this area everybody knows where it is, that there's no signs or anything. Well, I'm glad I asked because clearly I was in the total wrong place. I'm so grateful to that local for showing me how to get here. Man, it's not easy. I guess there is a very small white post sign, which I'll check out later, but it's really easy to miss. And so now I'm told to continue walking forward this way, and it'll be on the left, apparently. We'll see. Here's a sign, but it just says this is National Forest Land. It doesn't say anything about a cave. And here at last, the first sign, the first sign I noticed anyways, the Christian cave, 300 meters from here. Can you imagine 400 years ago, locals coming out here, maybe at night, hidden, to pray secretly in a cave here? I didn't know these kanji. Kirishian, maybe? Dokutsu, so the Christian cave. Once you're in the forest, there's like signs every 10 meters, it seems. I wish they could have had some signs on the road. Here we are. I can see it up ahead. I do want to make sure there's no bears in there, so I'm going to call out in case there's bears so they know to get out. Woo! Woo! All right. No reaction. Hopefully no bears. This is muddy. Glad I brought my mucking boots, not my hiking boots. Wow. Look at this. This is a little bit terrifying. Definitely good to have long rubber boots on. Okay. Headlamp on. I don't have a helmet, sadly. Into the cave we go. This is smaller than I anticipated. So that's okay. Ooh, very muddy. You definitely want to have knee-high boots on for this. Wow. Oh my God. Do you see all those bats? That was, I'm going back. And out I go. Woo, that was a lot of bats. That was a lot of bats. Wow. Too many bats for me. Yeah. Whew. Wow, that was a lot of bats in the cave. Yeah, maybe this isn't a place I'd recommend you to come and visit, but it's an interesting bit of history to maybe visit other places and read about. This place here is dark and wet and muddy and scary. There are bears around here too, and there have been a lot of bear attacks in this very area. So I would rather recommend that you check out the Osarizawa mine in Aomori, where you can learn a little bit about the hidden Christians who used to practice in that mine. I'll put a link to all that in the description. Jesuits from Portugal first came to Japan around the middle of the 16th century. The Portuguese not only spread Catholicism, but also established a slave trade with the government of Japan. Historians don't agree on the exact number, but thousands and thousands of Japanese were sold into slavery and carried abroad back to Portugal, to also Portuguese colonies in Goa, all sorts of other areas in Southeast Asia. A lot of them were actually used as concubines or sex slaves, in addition to as laborers. They were apparently prized, according to Portuguese writings at the time, for their intelligence and industriousness. They also established trade for guns with the Japanese government, and that led to the need for saltpeter, for gunpowder. And one source that I found online suggested that 1 barrel of saltpeter from Portugal was able to buy 50 young Japanese women at that time in the mid-16th century. The Vatican actually wrote around 1565 to protest against the slave trade because it was believed to be hurting the Jesuits' efforts at spreading Christianity. Despite the papacy's protests, the slave trade continued for decades afterwards, until it was eventually banned by Hideyoshi in 1595. Hideyoshi, one of the 3 great shogun or warlords that established the Edo period, he banned the trade of slaves, and with it, he banned the spread or proselytization of Christianity in Japan. He saw all of these Jesuits as suspect. However, all over Japan, Christianity had already begun to spread and take root. As a result, there were groups of what were called hidden Christians, or kakure Christian, all over Japan. The existence of these hidden Christians became more well known when a recent movie directed by Martin Scorsese was released. This was called Silence, based on the historical novel by the famous Japanese novelist Shusaku Endo. He also wrote another book called The Samurai. Both of these are available in English translation, and they're great books. I recommend both of them. So while that movie took place in Kyushu and is about the persecution of the Christians there in Kyushu, they were all over Japan, even up here in Tohoku, in Akita Prefecture, and in Iwate. This particular cave that I found right here was abandoned in the early 1600s after 13 hidden Christians were caught and martyred, killed by the authorities. So there is a sad history to the people who were worshiping here, as in the end they were slaughtered for their beliefs. If you read the works of Endo Shusaku, which is where I've learned most of what I know about the hidden Christians of Japan, in addition to just Googling around and reading various sources I can find online, what he likes to talk about is the way that the faith transformed itself in the hearts and minds of its practitioners here in medieval Japan. They were not like Europeans, and so the way they interpreted the faith was completely different. At any rate, it's a really interesting topic, and if this fascinates you, please read both The Samurai and Silence by Shusaku Endo. I'm sure you can find them at your local library or wherever you like to buy your books. Also, you could rent the movie Silence, which is a long and fantastic movie directed by Martin Scorsese. And of course, Adam Driver is in that movie as well, so there's another good reason to see it, maybe. I hope you enjoyed this little jump into a dark cave and the dark cave of history in Japan. To be honest, until I did research for this video, I didn't know that slavery was basically practiced in Japan from the 3rd century until the end of the 16th century, until 1595 when it was outlawed. I had no idea. Yeah, I guess that's not something that people like to talk about, understandably enough, but important to realize. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the trails.